one of which was done by executive order. Did you know that Lyndon Baines Johnson signed Executive Order 11246? Lyndon Baines Johnson signed Executive Order 11246, which mandated affirmative action rather than merit-based hiring in federal employment and contracting. Because of this, affirmative action has been the pseudo law of the land in America since Lyndon Baines Johnson was president. This was not passed by an act of Congress. This was not drawn up in committee hearings. This was not something where the American people got behind it like the Civil Rights Act. No, this is something completely and fundamentally different. This was done by an act of the president. This was an executive order, stroke of a pen. Now, mind you, do you know that Ronald Reagan, George H.W. Bush, and George W. Bush, the three Republican presidents, refused to touch this. In fact, they wouldn't even take meetings on this topic. It was way too radical. The affirmative action order required white people to be discriminated against in the federal government. This is probably the most aggressive and bold executive order ever issued by Trump in either of his terms. In political terms, it may be the bravest move by a U.S. president in half a century or more. When President Trump announced late last night was the repeal of Executive Order 1126. I just gotta be honest, this is one of the most remarkable things President Trump has ever done. 11246 supposedly just tells federal contractors not to discriminate. But for more than 50 years, this order has been interpreted by the government and by the courts as requiring discrimination. You must discriminate against white people. You have to discriminate based on race to get federal dollars. This has become a total invasion of every principle that made America great. It's a total invasion of the text and the promise and the structure of the Constitution. Executive Order 11246 by LBJ was meant to supersede the U.S. Constitution. And to be very clear, we want a country based on merit, not race. That is it. We want things that matter to be prioritized more so than things that do not matter. How you act, how you present yourself, how hard you work. That is what the society should be built upon.